I think we all need one together. Welcome to the launch of the Think podcast by Dylan Schreibman. I am excited, nervous, a little bit scared. Any inside out emotion you can think of or feel, I am experiencing that right now as we launch this podcast. I've been wanting to do this for a very, very long time, but fear has set in, and I feel like this is one of the scariest things I've ever done in my life, which we'll get into. But every time that I have done something scary, I have made it out to the other side, and I am still here. 2025 is the year of jump in, no fear. That is the motto for me this year, and that is why we're here. Can I just say, speaking to a microphone when you're by yourself is a little weird. Like, I'm a yapper. I like to talk. I like to have conversation. My friends will tell you I do not shut up. But when you're alone in a room with a microphone and it's just you, the chair, and the room, it's giving weird. It's really weird, but we're going to get through this together. Maybe it's because I'm a perfectionist, and if I stumble over a word or something doesn't sound as good as I want it to be, it drives me crazy. But we're going to get to that part together. You don't even want to know how many takes I've done of this. I'm going to be gentle with myself today. Before we begin, I do want to not ignore what's going on in the world. There's been a lot at the top of this year, and especially what's going on in LA with the wildfires currently. I really don't feel like the words I say will even do what's happening justice. My thoughts and my prayers are with people who have been impacted, and especially people who have lost their homes and their memories within moments I can't even imagine. I can't even fathom what they're going through. It's heartbreaking, it's gut-wrenching. I lived in LA for an extended period of time. I moved there in February of 2019 and moved out at the end of this most recent year in November. So nearly 6 years. And that city means so much to me. It has a special place in my heart. I grew so much when I was there. I learned so much about myself when I was there. It was the city that I came out. And so for that reason, it will always hold a special place in my heart. And it taught me to live authentically and to see the city that holds such a gentle place in my heart burn up in flames is devastating. While I was there, I made so many friends and met so many cool people along my journey, and I always thought I would go back at one point. I worry for my friends and checking on them constantly. Um, Still sometimes don't feel like that does enough justice, but one thing about LA, I know the people are strong, they're resilient, they're creative, and I am praying for a strong recovery. I love you, LA, and I am hoping to make it back soon. This podcast, like I said, I've been trying to do for a very, very long time. But it is one of the scariest things I think I'll ever do. But like I said in the beginning, I'm still here from after all the other scary things that I've done. I think the only thing I can think of that's scarier, maybe two things that I've done in my life, is coming out, which was scary, and I will do an episode on that one day because I'm so much stronger now that I'm on the other side, but that was a really tough experience. And I think the only other scary thing I can think of that maybe tops this is moving to LA. I moved there on a whim. I'll also talk about that in an episode one day, and fell in love with it. But we're here, and that is all that matters. And I know just like moving out of or moving to LA, sorry, and coming out. I'll make it through this one as well. I know that the scariest things in life can bring you the most beautiful adventures, and that is something that I'm excited for to see. And I think it was Taraji P. Henson that said before she took the role of Cookie, she read the script and it scared her, and that's why she accepted the role. And that resonates with me so much. It's stuck with me ever since I've heard it. Um, and this is, I guess, my cookie. This is the thing I'm really scared to do, but just because I am, that's why I'm doing it. I kind of want to talk, because it is the first episode, the launch episode. I kind of want to talk about the purpose of the podcast, and what I want to create it for. So let's do that. The purpose of this podcast is to create a safe space to explore multiple topics of conversation on a deep level, as you were sitting right here with me. So I know that sounds like a lot, but I've always wanted to create and be a safe space for people. That is something that I absolutely pride myself in, and especially people who feel like they have nowhere to go. And right now in their life, I want to be there for them, and I want to be that safe space you can go to. I feel like as much as I want this to be everyone's safe space, it's my safe space as well to kind of get up on the microphone and say what I want to say, and um, have conversation around that. I want to explore every single conversation we can on this podcast. Politics and human rights are probably at the top of it. Um, that's important to me, and I feel like my purpose in life. So we will be speaking about those a lot, especially what's going on in the country. And less than a week when I post this, the president-elect will be inaugurated. So we'll definitely be talking a lot about that, especially as a member of the LGBTQ plus community. That is scary to see potentially my rights be taken away. Outside of politics and human rights, I am open. Like I said, this is a safe space. I'm open to any conversation, sports, pop culture, dating, etc. You name it, I want to talk about it. It is called Think for a reason. I want people to think. I've always been a deep person, and I'll get into that. But I also want to laugh together. I want to cry together. I want to explore together. Just go on this journey together, this healing journey of ours. And I am extremely, extremely excited to do that. If you see me squinting, I'm sorry. I have my glasses on, so I'm like looking at my notes, but today I did want to get into the fact of being a deep person. I've been a deep person my entire life, and I feel deeply, I love deeply, I think deeply. But I've hid that part of me from a lot of people for a long time. Being a deep person has its challenges, and I can see as I'm sitting across from you, I can see why people, including myself, would want to hide being a deep person for a long time. It's something that eventually I promise you, you are going to be okay with, and you are going to grow into and accept, and learn that it is okay to love deeply. It is okay to feel deeply. It is okay to think deeply. I think a lot of us, for multiple reasons, don't talk about it or kind of shove it down. Number one, you probably feel like you're going to be judged, and that's easy to think in this world. Number two, you probably think that somebody will think that you're too much. And when someone says that, that absolutely pains me. I've learned in this lifetime that you are never too much for the right person. You are only too much for the wrong person. And the people that love you and the people that accept you will accept all of that, and will accept that you think deeply and that you love deeply, etc. It's a beautiful thing. And I've always said that empathy is a curse and a blessing, or having lots of empathy is a curse and a blessing. The blessing part of it, obviously, is you get to be there for people and you get to feel for people. And you get to help people. And that is really my life mission and my life's purpose is to fight and help for people. Um, but also the curse side is you feel a lot. And that can be difficult to deal with. Some people may refer to you as overly emotional. Some people may refer to you as too much. But the more you deal with it, the more that it's okay. And I never want anyone to feel that being a deep person or being too much for somebody is not okay. Don't allow anyone to dim your light. And I know that sounds like a cliche as the light beats on my face. This backlight may not be it, but I have gone through life way too much, dimming my light to try to fit in to other spaces, whether that be a friend group, whether that be somebody you're trying to impress in a dating way, but whether that be somebody you're trying to impress in a career way. I've had that happen to me where I dim my light for that and to try to get that next opportunity that I thought I needed. And instead of getting that opportunity, God showed me the real lesson of that friendship and to never allow myself to change for anybody. And I've carried that with me ever since. If you're sitting here and you're listening and you feel that somebody is judging you for you being who you are, I want to let you know that you are okay the way you are. You are okay the way you are. There is nothing wrong with you. It's probably coming from them, not you. A lot of people in this world project, project over something going on in their lives, project maybe something is stressful and they're taking it out on you. Maybe they're narrow-minded if it comes to queer culture. And I know that can be heartbreaking, but you will find your people. And I think at 28 years old, turning 29 this year, that's one thing I'm grateful for is I think I've finally found my people. And trust me, once you do that, it is a beautiful thing. And one day I promise you, you will find the people who love you for who you are, deep thinker and all, and who support you for who you are, whether you are in the happiest phase of your life or the unhappiest phase of your life. They will support you through it all. And I don't want you to dim your light or feel like you need to hide or suppress yourself to fit in to a certain place. Feeling deeply, loving deeply, yes, it will hurt. It will hurt you a lot. But also, it will bring blessings, it will bring joy, it will allow you to experience so many memories that you will be grateful for. People that do love deeply, I see you. I absolutely see you, and it hurts a lot of the time. I'm not even gonna lie. Especially when you haven't found the right person yet. Every person that I thought could have been my person, friend or relationship, and I've loved deeply and I've been hurt, I've made it through. I have made it through, and you will too. And I'm still sitting in front of you here today. All that hurt will teach you a lesson. All that hurt will make you stronger. It will prepare you for when the right person comes along, you'll know what you want. Well, again, friendship, relationship, etc. Especially in relationships, the right person will know how to reassure you, will know, especially if you're an overthinker, will know how to check in and they'll want to check in to make sure you're okay. And can you, while we're on the topic, I think this is what I'm thinking about. So it's the Think podcast. I'm going to talk about it. Imagine you find the right person. You find your soulmate, the person you're supposed to marry, the person that you love deeply. You finally did it. You finally found that person. First of all, you'll be so happy. Imagine the deep conversations you're going to have over making dinner and a glass of wine. Imagine the love that you're going to give and receive by that person. Imagine you moving into your first apartment together, sitting on the floor because you don't have furniture yet, but you're happy because you're just with that person. That is what loving deeply brings. That is what waiting for the right person brings. I think I've always wanted that plus someone I can maybe I'll put my vision out there. I vision and I imagine a lot what I want out of a partner. I imagine, simple. I'm a person that I like people who appreciate the small things. So I want someone who I said all previously, be able to sit and have dinner and a glass of wine together and just talk extensively and have conversations about everything. Have check-ins to make sure we're both of us are okay. I want that coffee and newspaper love in the morning where you're either reading off the iPad or the paper or newspaper. I don't know if they still make those while you're drinking coffee, catching up on what happened in the political world that day. I want the love where you can grow together. Someone motivates you, even if it's, hey, we should go to the gym today. Or, hey, I haven't seen you drink a lot of water today. Make sure you do. Something like that. I imagine waking up in the morning with that person and that, first good morning, like when their voice is all raspy and you both just smile at each other and gaze into each other's eyes. This sounds like a rom-com. It sounds like maybe a little bit crazy. I don't know if crazy is the word. Maybe out of reach. But I will not settle because I want it. And with the right person, you will get all of that. So, in conclusion, loving deeply is a beautiful thing when you find the right person for a relationship and the right people for friendships. I will probably talk about my friends a lot on this podcast. I'll probably do an episode of how I found my lifelong friendships and all the memories that we have together. One thing I'm learning is as a deep person is the waiting period can be hard, especially on a romantic level or waiting for your soulmate and the right person. It can be hard. I think I've learned to treasure in the moments with my friends and the company and the platonic soulmates that I have. Made it okay during this period. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and just do cliches all the time. It's hard. It is hard waiting for the right person if you are a hopeless romantic and you do want to settle down with somebody. But I also believe they'll come at the right time. I believe in my faith, which I'll talk about one episode. And I believe my faith in God will bring that into my life at the right time. S- Side sidebar, is that the word? I do want to do an episode one day, and I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on this about spirituality in the gay community. I do want to talk about that as being a gay man and believing in God and believing in my spirituality and my faith brings a very interesting conversation. I do not judge you if you don't believe, and I will not judge you if you don't believe. But that's something I do want to talk about. That is interesting. Um, got sidetracked there for a moment, but I am excited to see where this podcast goes, and I'm excited for the future and the many conversations we are going to have. I do want to remind you that this is always a safe space for you, especially my girls, gays, and theys. I want this to be a safe space for the queer community. That's really important for me. I do want to wrap this up because, like I said, this episode may not be as long as the others. You never know. I don't know. Like I said, we're on this journey together, me and you from this chair, your new bestie from the chair. Cannot wait to see where this takes us. But next week, I do want to talk about feeling stuck and how that can be a difficult thing in life. And I've been there recently. But for now, I'm signing off and I will see you later.